married for 20 years. I never thought I would end up a single mom. But low key, I felt like a single mom a lot in my marriage. But then again, I can't say that because at the end of the day, even if my dead ex husband wasn't physically in the house because he was ripping and running in the streets, I still knew I could pick up the phone and he would be there. I don't have that anymore, that security. And I find now that raising the kids on my own, especially since he's dead now, presents its own special set of challenges. And it's like every time I feel like I get over one parenting struggle and find a solution, here go another one. Because where did this even come from? Have you ever been triggered by one of your kids emotionally because they exhibit in a behavior that your estranged partner used to exhibit? Maybe a way of speaking or a way of behaving or a way of treating you that either it's genetic or they witnessed their parent do these things, and so now they're doing it to you. And it gets to be challenging because I don't want to take anything personally, but see, my issue is very deep seated with rejection. I don't ever have I don't have the experience of being around people who are related to me by blood except for my children because I was adopted and my father didn't sign any adoption papers. So when I was adopted, they thought that um, they wouldn't be able to keep me or whatever. I don't know. It's just like all shrouded in mystery. There's no like official documents from my adoption. And then later on in life, my husband hired a private investigator to try to find information about where I was adopted, and they said the place was burned down. They didn't have any records. Like, come on, it was 1981. How you don't have records? It doesn't make any sense. So, I have a lot of issues, and I was given up. I think when I was 6 months, but I wasn't told that I was adopted till I was 11 years old, and I was told on my birthday. I didn't know that the people that I had grown up with weren't my family, but everyone else knew. I didn't know that. So I have very deep seated issues with rejection, um, affection. I don't like that, but I'm such a mom. I have so many kids. I have to do that, and that's been a struggle because that's not what I was given. I had a lot of inappropriate touch growing up, so that in itself is a challenge every single day. The way my brain operates, I could sit in a room alone for the rest of my life without any human interaction and actually prosper. I never understood why people would go mad when they were in solitary in jail because that sounds like heaven to me. I've been locked up as a child. And when I was in the Waxter Center, I think it's closed down actually because there was a lot of mess going on there. Wait till I start talking about that. Um, when I would get locked down, I was fine. I would look out the window. I would think. There's always so much stuff going on in my head that I don't need to be entertained. If I'm watching something, I'm thinking, or if I am focused on that, I'm just trying to study it. It's like not entertaining to me. It's always a study. I'm studying people. That's why I love YouTube because I love how different everybody is and like how much you can learn from people. Even if you're learning what you don't like or what you don't want to be, you can also learn about what's possible and learn about things you've never even heard of. I love YouTube. It's so cool. But, I have these issues with rejection and being abandoned. So sometimes I may be taking things personally that my kids are saying when they're just being matter of fact, you know, very direct, just saying how they feel. And, I just take it as rejection. And then it's very hard for me not to retreat back into that place where it's like, well, I'll just wash my hands of the whole situation. And maybe it's not healthy the way that I can just cut people off. And it's like, they're your kids, you can't do that. Because I just strip it down to I understand that for some people, they can just walk away from you. So, because that's what was done to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm repeating that cycle. But for me, it's like if we're not getting along, you're not treating me the way that I want to be treated. What is the point in continuing a relationship? And another reason I cut everybody off is because when you're in recovery, because I went to rehab for from January 2019 all the way up until August 2019. And they tell you when you're in there, if you want to stay sober, be prepared to change everything about your life. And I did that. It was like the military for me, like the sober military. But I'm having to learn in my older age not to take things personally. And the way my brain works, just keep going deeper and deeper and digging down. Everything down to the bare bones. It's never just surface level with me. And I don't like to give people multiple opportunities to reject me. So it's very challenging as a parent. And I take my position as a parent very seriously. And I don't feel like I always did. It was almost like we were just not. I don't think we were prepared for what really came with parenthood. Babies are cute for a little while, and then they start talking, and then they start mirroring what they see, and then that's who you really find out who you are is through your kids. And it gets to a point where if you make a mistake, they'll die. That's a heavy responsibility. That is a very big deal. And so now I'm just in this transition where my kids are becoming young adults, so their needs are different, and my tactics have to change. But always I feel like I have to keep my emotions in check, and that's very hard for me because one, I'm still grieving my ex-husband. We had been divorced for a year before he took his life, or his life was taken. However, it went down. Everybody want to act like they don't know. Overdose, whether it was a hot shot or self-administered, whatever. I literally have a text message from him saying I'll be dead by Thursday, and he was. That was the last text message he ever sent me. So it's like I'm still grieving that, still trying to figure out everything. Like, did you really love me? Was this real? Was this just some narcissistic, drug-fueled, psychotic episode? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm trying to figure those things out while raising kids that are trying to heal from childhood trauma. Well, I'm trying to heal myself from childhood trauma and investing in businesses that are not social media so that we can have a stable future. Try not to feel overwhelmed by the fact that their only way out is through me. And if I give up now, if I fumble, if I don't move forward, everybody that I love is going to suffer. And that's a lot of pressure, and I'm built for hard things. But sometimes I don't want to allow myself to feel down because I'm afraid that I won't be spiritually safe. I feel like if I allow myself to get down too much, first of all, I'll fall into a depression. And then I'll lose track of time, and I'll look up, it's a year from now, and I'm, 2 anxiety attacks away from relapsing? Like, I don't know. I don't want to do that. And then, I was told, the elders say, when you keep your vibration high, and you're tapped into a high frequency, people's negativity and just like low vibrational entities can't get to you. It's like a shield. So my concern is that I don't want to lower my energy level. I don't want to lower my frequency so low that now I'm open for all these other entities to come in. Because if we let in too much sadness, now we're going to start feeling sorry for ourselves. And here comes self-doubt. And now we feeling guilty for the past. It's a slippery slope. That's why I said I look down to the bare bones of everything. This is not just, and I know people say, oh, just allow yourself to feel your feelings and have a down day. Maybe that works for you. That don't work for me. I have to just like do what I'm doing right now. Turn it into something else. I have to alchemize it. I can't just let it sit there and sit in it because I'll sit in it forever. I'll go into this deep cavern inside of myself and I'll never come out. What depression for me looks like 7 years on the couch, being high off heroin, eating cheese curls, while my kids are being raised in Baltimore away from me. That's what allowing myself to feel my down days does. And I just really have a hard time believing the person that I used to be. And it was disgusting and it's horrible. And I never want to be that person again. And I worked so hard to not even see a shadow of that person. But I have to let those ghosts haunt me so that I stay humble, so that I never forget. Like, if I keep the ghosts of my past just right here so that I can still see them, it'll remind me When I get a little bit farther in life, and I start to accumulate wealth, and I start to get a little bit of, girl, don't forget who you were. So it's always right there. You know? I keep my ghosts and my demons right close to me. They prevent me from turning into the worst version of me. Believe it or not, all things work for the glory of the Most High. I work very closely with demons. Like, it's not. So many things aren't what they seem, and I get tired of explaining it to people I feel like ain't fucking understand or care. Mm. Sometimes I just let people sit in their ignorance and just walk away. Because I can't. But, down here doing the best that we can. To an extent, I will acknowledge, hey, I'm not feeling the greatest right now. But when I feel down, instead of just allowing myself to feel down, because I'm just going to keep sinking lower and lower, I just go to God. I'm like, I'm not feeling good right now. Like, this is how I'm feeling. And then I'll usually get in the water. That always gives me clarity. And then I'm remembered and I'm given visions. And then I'm just refocused. Very much. Shout out to Granddad. Shout out to my ex-husband's father, who reminded my kids the other day to stay focused. Because isn't that always what it is, to stay focused? What is it that you're focused on? Because that's what you're going to give life to. I came across something the other day that said, don't feed sin. And I think about that so often. And it's not just that, like, don't feed sloth. Don't feed doubt. I did that earlier. Like, don't feed procrastination. Because I was giving myself all these reasons of why I was going to fail at something. And I was like, yo, why do you always do that? Why can't you be your biggest cheerleader? Then you get mad at other people for rejecting you, but you're rejecting yourself. I be rejecting my own potential, even though I know my potential. Well, maybe I don't. I think my potential is a lot more than what I think it is, or I wouldn't have this negative self-talk. But whatever. We're working through our little negative thought patterns. But it's like, girl, you should be investing in yourself mentally. Like, girl, be your biggest cheerleader. So, tell you what I did, girl. Let me tell you what I did in the shower today. I made up a little character in my head. This little blue character. And the only purpose this little blue character serves is to encourage me. That's it. So now if I start to feeling self-doubt, it just like, poof, this little blue character just pops up. And it's just like, you can do it, Fury. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. Whatever. I don't care. I'm doing whatever I need to do to get out of this funk. I don't care. I'll do whatever I need to do to heal. If I got to make up little characters in my head to cheer me on through life, I'm going to do that. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World. If you're interested in more videos about single parenting, mental health, or spirituality, check out my playlist. If you're interested in checking out my music, it's available on all music streaming platforms worldwide. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World. I'll check you in the next episode. Being a parent is not easy. Being a single parent is not easy. Building a deep, meaningful, lasting relationship with spirit is not easy. Facing yourself and having a different aesthetic or a different way of seeing the world than the average person is not easy, especially not when you're doing it on social media. But guess what? You are who you are. You go through what you go through, and it's best that you are honest about it and that you speak about it so you can start to figure out things. Because believe it or not, we are all more alike than we are different. And if we help each other, it'll be a lot less traumatic of an experience down here. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.